Brian Dulesky with Able Distributors. Today I wanted to talk to you about the tax credit, otherwise known as 25C. Now there's a lot of contractors who are not using this as a selling tool, and I really think it is actually a selling tool. So let's get into it. 10% of contractors are actually bringing this up to homeowners. Why only 10%? Because it's baffling, it's confusing. You don't know if it qualifies or not, and what qualifies in what order, what packages qualify. Well, on our website, if you do a quote through our Shop Able Distributors website, it's going to show you that this piece of equipment is eligible for the federal tax credit, up to whatever it is. And then it's going to provide you a spot to download or send all the documentation that the homeowner will need to hand their tax provider and say, get it done, their tax professional. So only 10% of the contractors do this because they don't know any better. They don't know how to use it as a selling tool. That's why I'm talking to you today. When you bid out a job, if you can get them $2,000 off their tax bill, why wouldn't you? It's just a no-brainer. If they need new equipment anyways, to sell them something super high efficiency, cut down on the utility bills, and give them a tax credit, it's a win-win for everybody. 25% of the homeowners know that this exists, but they don't know it any better than anybody else does. Now, if the homeowner happens to work for H&R Block, that person may know, but every other homeowner doesn't have a clue, and this is where you can fill them in, and we're helping fill you in. Up to. Now, the reason we say up to instead of a flat rate is it's not a flat rate, it's up to. So it's 30% of the job, and I'm going to get into that in a minute, how your invoice needs to separate things out to make sure that you do it properly so they don't get in trouble when they do this on their taxes. Up to a $2,000 federal tax credit for heat pumps. That's heat pumps to an A-coil, that's mini-split heat pumps, up to $2,000. Both Bosch and Napoleon is what we sell. That's what we're talking about today. Up to $600 on an NTI boiler, whether it's a high-efficiency boiler or a combi boiler. $600 is nothing to bark at. Why not? Up to $600 with Rinnai tankless. That's the RX and the RXP, so recirc or not, they both qualify. And then you can combine these for up to $3,200 for that household per year. So you could do a heat pump, a boiler, and a tankless and get you $3,200 that year. So let's lay through how the money has to go to make sure. Again, it's 30% of the job. So when you do a heat pump and a furnace and a boiler, the amounts you put on each item has to be the right amount to be able to get the full 30%. So heat pumps, that heat pump part of that job is going to have to be about $6,800 to get your $2,000 credit. And these are bare minimums that everybody does anyways. The NTI boilers, again, you're going to need that part of the bill to be at least $1,900 to get your 30% and get your $600 back. Same with a tankless. So if you were to install these three items, this is how I would list it on my bill so that you get 30% of the boiler, 30% of the tankless, 30% of the heat pump. Pretty simple. You got to have the amounts right and separated on the bill to make it easier for the homeowner in case they ever get audited. Who qualifies? All right, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not going to go deep into this, but there are some basic things. You got to pay taxes. If you don't pay taxes, if you don't owe taxes, then you can't take a tax credit. It comes off of what you owe or what you pay in. It's residential. So it's for residential situations is what we're talking about. And it has to be the house that you live in or the house you claim as your main home. If you have a house in Wisconsin and one in Illinois, and you claim the Wisconsin house as your main house, and you did the work in Illinois, obviously it's not going to work out. They want it to be your primary residence. So now you know how it has to be on your invoices. You know who qualifies. You know what qualifies from Able Distributors, and we're going to help you out again. When you go through and you quote something on our website, you're going to see that this thing qualifies, and then it's going to have a spot where you can scroll and see all the documentation to hand that to the homeowner. It's pretty simple. Start using this as a selling tool. Only 10% of contractors we talk to do anything with it. It's because they don't know any better. They don't know all the ins and outs. We're here to help. So start using this as a selling point. If you took $600 off the price of a boiler or $600 off the price of a Rinnai tankless, it actually might get people to go there. And the win-win is you get the sale, they get brand new equipment with an amazing warranty, and their energy bills drop. It's a win-win all the way around. Brian Dulesky, Able Distributors, thank you.